Chad, you're a goofball just like me.
Yes.
And so people who enjoy me, obviously they'll love you. How would they check you out and see what you're doing and follow you?
ChadGerber.com if they just want to kind of get plugged into whatever. I'm going to be in New York in a couple of weeks if anybody wants to meet up. Actually, that's a horrible idea because I don't want to meet strangers. Okay, I got it. You're perfect.
Thank you very much. I never tire of hearing that, by the way. Are you going to hold the microphone there today?
Yeah, I thought about putting it on a stand. I don't know why, but I enjoy this. I feel like a broadcaster. I'm like, yes, that's right. Down on the field.
It's so funny. You see these people now in modern day internet holding their little microphones as they speak.
I know.
I'm thinking the world has made it easy for you to clip on a microphone and have it somewhere nearby, but to hold it in front, it's like immediately, as soon as I see that, I swipe away. Well, here we are with Chad Gerber. What are you drinking there?
This is I'm on a huge, I don't even know what they're called. They're called fizzies. I call them fizzies. It's like super light soda water, but orange flavored or apple. And I'm obsessed with them. And I can't stop drinking them, but they also have just about nothing in them. So I blow through them constantly.
So when you say fizzies, are they little like Alka-Seltzer type tablets that you put into water?
It's probably what is in the actual bottle. But basically you go to the store and you grab these fizzies. It's just a bottle I think it's in the soda section, but there's hardly anything in it. It's just lightly apple flavored carbonated water. And then I get on these kicks. I'll probably drink them like crazy for the rest of the year. And then one day I'll just be like, gross. I don't want to drink that ever again.
What part of the world are you in, Chad, right now?
At the moment, I'm in Arizona near the border of New Mexico. And then I'm getting ready to head to New York. But normally, lately I've just been everywhere. From LA, grew up in Montana, but I've spent most of my life in LA. And then I've been spending a lot of time in Phoenix and on the East Coast, just doing all these different projects lately. Technically, I am scattered across the country with things in storage, trying to move into a place, but I keep having to get on planes and go elsewhere. Because between music and this spatial startup studio thing I built, and then this deep tech telecommunications system I built, I obviously wanted my life to be horrible. So I did 2 startups at the same time. And it's just been like living on planes and in hotels and Airbnbs.
In some ways, you got to consider that a success if you wanted to make your life horrible.
If you wanted to be a nomadic musician technology person, then yes, I definitely hit that mark. I'm hoping to be done with the ridiculous amount of traveling by the next few months. That's my goal, but I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to be having to do more international flights or I don't know anymore. I feel like I'm just a leaf on the wind lately.
You got to explain this to me because we're at the pinnacle of our technology around the world. Why do you have to go anywhere unless you need to meet someone face to face?
Because nobody's using Melocene at large scale yet. Once they do, I don't have to go anywhere. So I used to go to Brazil a lot, but now I can actually just put my headset on and we meet in the studio in there. And I used to have to go to Amsterdam a lot, but now I don't have to because it's going there. But all these deep tech military meetings, they don't use it yet. But I'm hoping that I can get them to do that so I don't have to be on planes for 11 hours.
Yeah. Now, as a techie musician, sound person, and all the other things that you are, please explain what Melocene is.
So Melocene, the basic simple thing is I created a virtual studio that you put the headset on and you're inside of a music studio. And then wherever you are in the world, you can come in and access your real gear, software, etc. And we can make real music in ultra low latency, share files, send them in real time. So if, the drummer's like, oh, I like that, drop that into my box, I drop it in. So we're able to do a much faster workflow together without having to travel around. Obviously, I love traveling to studios and going into them, but you spend so much money and time and living in I was in hotels in Europe and Brazil just all the time. And after a while, you're like, why does everybody else get a collaborative platform, Google Docs and stuff like that? Why don't we get it? And so I built Melocene, and it works not just for music, but for artists and editors, composers. You can edit film and all these different things. So that's why I built it. Honestly, I built it because Gibson guitars, I'm a Gibson artist, and I was trying to get them to do more with technology, which is kind of tough because they're like a 110-year-old company. But I told them about this one, and they were like, well, you should explore that. And I listened to them, and it snowballed, and now that's one of the things I'm doing. And out of that, I had to figure out how to solve latency in audio problems, and I reduced audio bandwidth by 99%. And then my business partner was like, well, we need to roll this into like a totally different company because that's telecommunications and deep tech and blah, blah, blah. And then that got snowballed. And so like it went from, me just making music, it's simple life, to being in hotel rooms and making music from hotel rooms in VR with people from Europe. I don't know, man. My head is spinning every single day I wake up. I'm like, I don't know what is going on anymore.
It's funny. You're like the Professor Audio, which makes this appearance all that much more precious because we had 15 minutes of tech issues before we got started here.
You have no, it's always the case. Oh, see here, okay, you'll appreciate this then. Cause when the BBC wanted me to do like a special over in London for Melocene. And so this was before I had built the full working system. Like we launched the beta. We have beta is out on Quest now, but this is pre that. So it was a janky duct tape demo. And the day that we started filming, they're like, okay, we have about 1 hour to shoot the actual collaboration. So we're going to have somebody in LA, Amsterdam, London, and we're all going to go into the virtual studio and make music. And everybody fired up their systems and everything needed updates. And to update these systems was a nightmare because it was all like multiple gear. So basically the whole film crew's got the camera and I'm like just pouring sweat. And I'm like, hey, yep, no, it's fine. I'm on the phone with, back in LA, it's like 2 a.m. and oh gosh, it was so awful. But we got it up and had about, I think 15 minutes to shoot something. And we just, by the skin of our teeth, did it.
Oh, you were able to pull it off.
We pulled it off. And honestly, and I was like, we're dead. We're so dead. But we pulled it off and they were happy. And yeah, they didn't tell anybody what a complete nightmare it was, which was nice. I thought they were going to be like, it was awful, but they were like, this is really cool. So I was like, okay.
Yeah, the worst part is when you're trying to impress people and you can't do it. It's like my equivalent of what you went through with that. When I was cooking dinner for Robin Williams, I set his kitchen on fire because I was trying to show off like big Mr. Chef guy. And so I poured the cognac on the steak and I'm sitting there sauteing. It exploded, took my eyebrows off and caught the curtains behind me on fire. And it was like a wild scene, but that's the same kind of thing where you're trying to show off your stuff, right?
I know. It's always that. It's always when it actually matters. Any other time, no problems. But now it's on television. Of course, it's going to go wrong. Of course, when you're trying to get Robin Williams, it's going to blow up the kitchen. It's like a rule. I swear. If anything, I plan for it now. I'm like, the higher the stakes, I now have 8 different contingencies because I know it's going to fail. The first 3 are going to fail for sure. Every single time.
Yeah, and I carry a fire extinguisher with me all the time now. So
I feel like I could be wrong. I feel like if you're going to have a kitchen blow up of anyone out there, Robin Williams would have been the guy to have involved because he would have thought it was funny.
Oh yeah, he loved it.
Exactly.
I was dying. That was crazy. So yeah, you're right. He took it like a pro.
That's horrible. I can't cook at all because I get like anxiety. Cooking gives me anxiety. And you saying that almost gives me makes me feel ill. Just even
you just got to keep flammables out of the kitchen, I think is what the key is here.
Well, it's for me, it's the timing. I don't know when to start this to get this into time. That's what freaks me out. So yeah, the fact that I can't cook, I eat whatever's available because I'm so bad at cooking because I get so stressed out by it. So I'm actually a huge fan of good food and chefs. And to me, that is a mysterious world to me. Like music, I know these different arts and how to do it. Cooking is magic to me. I don't know how you do it, and it blows my mind. If I'm flying solo and all that, I'm on a huge Uncrustables kick because I can just grab them and eat them. And
tell me what an Uncrustable is. I'm sorry, I'm just not with it.
Well, you're also not 8 years old. Every 8-year-old knows what an Uncrustable is. It's these little pre-made peanut butter and jelly sandwiches that are round with no crust. And so you just stick them in the fridge, pop it out and eat it, and then you're off. So that's kind of, if I'm like running around, I eat a ton of Uncrustables. It's ridiculous.
So is that why your bio says you're childlike, is because you enjoy those?
I feel like majority of my life is trying to pretend I'm an adult, and just I feel like I don't belong, and I don't tell people I eat Uncrustables normally. If they're like, "What'd you eat today?" I'm like, "Oh, I had some deli meats."
You try to sound more adult. Yeah, I had something with truffles.
Yeah, exactly. Truffles, truffles, and rigatoni, ravioli. I don't know.
But it's really an Uncrustables existence for you.
Uncrustables and Sun Chips. That's only when I'm running around. But normally, I like to eat a lot of like chicken. Actually, I like chicken, steak. My problem is I'll eat anything, virtually anything. So I go to other countries and they love to put weird food in front of me and just I'll eat it, and they just think it's hilarious that I'll just eat whatever. Unless it's not dairy. If I eat dairy, I get super sick. But otherwise,
you got a dairy thing going on?
And I love dairy. That's the problem. I don't even care. I'll be like, I'll eat it.
Does it give you a tummy ache or make you musical, or what's the story?
All of the above. All of the Yeah, basically, if I'm going to eat a bunch of dairy, it's going to be like, thank you for the evening. It was wonderful. I will not be seen for 2 days. Bye, everyone.
That is so funny. So when you have a yen then for something, what might it be? Are you going to reach for the package and open it up and eat it, or are you going to actually make anything?
No, I know my limits. I'm a firm believer and understand my limits. I make eggs once in a while. I mean, people make fun of me in college. I ate, and I thought it was delicious. I ate ramen noodles with sweet pickles and then pretzels on the side. That was like my reboot snack. I always thought it was amazing.
You dig the gherkins?
Oh yeah. I love all the pickles. Yeah, I'm a pickle guy. The Griot's pickles are. I'm on a huge. Those new pickles, you can find them at Walmart. They're out of like Maine or something. Those are good.
You remind me of a story. Since you love pickles so much, there's a deli. I think it's the Upper West Side in New York City. Yeah, and it's called Ben's Pickle Works. And so we've been to that a couple of times. And every time we go in there, we go to the host or hostess and we say, we're so happy to know that Ben's Pickle Works. And we think it's hilarious, but never get a response from that.
They're like, you're the 9th person to say that today. Right. I'm actually, you said it's up on the West Side?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. It's called Ben's Pickle Works.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I'm going to be in New York. I got to head to New York. So if I get a moment, I might ditch my group and run and look at pickles.
Oh, well, if you want a list of restaurants that I think you'll enjoy and love, just let me know. But Ben's Pickle Works was just a pickle story related deli. It's not
you open up that door, I might be texting you everywhere I go. I'll be like, hey, what's good here?
9 out of 10 contacts I receive are from people who are saying, how do I do this food wise, or where do I go to eat? So I'm comfortable with that.
I love when I'm on tour and traveling and everything else. I put stars at all my favorite restaurants so I can look at Google Maps and then just see all the stars of the food places. Oh yeah, and then beautiful. When my friends are there, they'll be like, "Where should we go?" And I'm like, "Well, I like this place," and I'll like send them the link. Right? I like doing that.
And so then, do any of those places have the Uncrustables on the menu?
Well, actually. On one tour, I did go to a peanut butter and jelly restaurant in New York. I have no idea if it's still open, but
I think I heard of that. Yeah.
I was trying to get my friend to ask this girl out that he met on tour. She was a ballerina. And so it was 3 of us on the road, and basically she was around, and we're like, the drummer basically kind of liked her. We're like, hey, well, we should just go get some food or whatever. And it probably didn't help much that we ended up at a peanut butter and jelly shop. So I think she, after that, was like, well, nice to meet you, to the drummer. And that was that.
Right. A lot of those kind of places put down some construction paper and give you crayons and allow you just to go nuts with that stuff.
Yeah, pretty much.
Wow.
Although there is a place in Baltimore, it's on my map thing. I forgot the name of it, but it is the best just fresh seafood I've ever had in my life. Just one of those places they just kind of, they kind of dump it on the table in front of you.
Oh, is it
Oh my
one of those
gosh.
places that it's crab and they give you the hammers and you smack it? That
Yeah,
kind of
and
thing?
it's like 130 years old. It's the same
Uh-huh.
restaurant. It's been there forever. It's in the Bay, right there in Baltimore. So yeah, you get that paper and immediately you want to color on it, and then you realize you're a grown up and no, it's for the food.
Right, right, right. Yeah. Well, I think some of the best crab comes from the Baltimore area,
Yeah. Oh, it's so
right?
good. Yeah. Yeah.
Since you're a techie guy, and I know that
Yeah.
we've been talking about, childhood memories and food
Mhm.
and so on. What's the last thing you built, broke, or hacked just
Oh,
to see if you could?
actually yesterday I just took apart a 1960s wall intercom to just disconnect the power from it because the relay switch kept going
Oh,
like
and you could hear that throughout
incessantly.
the house?
Yeah. So,
Oh,
so I was staying with some family and they're like, can you fix this? So I ripped it apart, and it's I like old tech. The circuit boards are huge. It's just wild to look at these massive circuit boards. And now all of it can be put on a chipset, the size of, well, smaller than you can see basically. So that was the last thing I ripped apart. That was like yesterday. Oh, did I rip a phone apart? I don't know. I feel like I'm just constantly trying to figure crap out. I have to keep putting some demo software onto iPhones to do demos when we were in Florida for this huge like military technology conference. I shouldn't even be at these things. I don't know what I'm even doing there. I'm like walking around, military dudes and stuff, but I have to like demo some of the technology. So I had to put that on iPhones, and so it's kind of like an off and on thing, just random. It doesn't feel like I'm hacking stuff because I've just been doing that for so long. It just kind of feels like I'm changing a light bulb at this point. But there's stuff I want to like rip apart. I just don't have time to do it anymore. I have broken guitar amps that I want to fix, but I just don't have time for it.
so United States military operations actually allow you to be on their property?
Somehow. I'm
What a
definitely
mistake.
I know, right? Well, here's the thing is like, again, I go into these places and the technology has got them all just like in a tizzy, because it fixes all these problems. But I'm like, I don't know anything about the military. I don't know anything about that world. I'm learning, but I'm like walking
Right.
around and there's dudes with stars all over their uniforms. And then we sit in these rooms and they all look at me and and I have to try to, again, pretend to be a grown up and tell them, well, all your systems are going to fail in about a year, and this is going to blow up if you don't fix it. And then they sit, and the crazy part is they just believe me, and I don't know why. And I sit there going like, what is? I think it's imposter syndrome. It's the first time I've ever had imposter syndrome where I'm going into these rooms and people are like, well, tell us what's going on here, and I'm like, you guys don't know who I am. I play video games. I shouldn't even be in this room right now.
Right. Well, don't give it away.
Yeah, I don't. Well, that's why I'm like, yes. Let me look at my notes real quick. I actually, and a lot of times I play Minecraft during the meetings on my phone.
Oh, is that right? Like what?
Yeah.
Like this?
Yeah. Well, no, I have it kind of down in front of me.
Oh, okay.
But I used to fight it. Your brain kind of ping pongs around. I found that if I play Minecraft, when it starts to get really boring, I can at least control how far it bounces around so that when they call on me, I can back into whatever boring topic, cybersecurity, they're going over. But Minecraft is my kind of therapeutic, how to get through this, whatever I'm in situation.
Explain to this old fart what the fascination is with games, Minecraft, you just mentioned, and all the other things. And people who are not kids anymore are addicted to it. And I'm not just speaking to you.
So I definitely, I don't consider myself a gamer. I get to play Minecraft is like a quick, I'm going to go build a cabin. Honestly, it's therapeutic. It's very just calming. It's the equivalent of solving a puzzle or like doing a Sudoku, whatever it's called. You know what I mean? It's just super simple. Other gaming, I get to play a real video game about once a year. If I'm lucky, I set 1 week aside and I smash through a video game. And it's just kind of like, I don't really enjoy watching TV. My brain is always just kind of cooking. And for whatever reason, video games is like the one place I can turn off the majority of my brain and just be that guy on a horse. And that's kind of it. But I get bored with the video games too, because if I play the same game for, again, like a week or two, I hit like a massive wall and I don't want to play it again for, a year.
we're living in a society and a culture that is very short attention span, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And yet there are so many millions of people who play the games and they can stay plugged into their game for hours on end. And yet if you ask them to watch a 1 minute video, they can't even handle that.
No, I have theories as to why it's that way. I actually have spoken at events like in DC a couple of years ago about how the ADHD mind is about to be the one. And it's nonlinear thinking. And then we're heading into a time when nonlinear thinking is actually really valuable for the first time. And people who think nonlinearly, which again is just that ping-ponging around,
right?
They need something. There's very few things that can just grab them for a period of time. And open world games or video games, I think it's the visuals and just the challenge of, I got to solve X, Y, and Z. There's no repercussions if you fail. It's kind of the only time that I feel like a really hyper mind can just relax. Because the thing is, they say people that have like, whatever you want to call it, they have a million dumb names from now, but they thrive off of high intensity chaos. And it's true. And music is the same. That's actually why music's so wonderful, is because when you're playing music, I know my part, but at the same time, I'm listening to see if the bass player is going to change anything, or, hey, let's just jump into a freestyle and see what happens. We like that brain challenge. Consistent patterns freak us out. Like consistency is predictability. Predictability becomes monotony. So it's almost like craving to get away from it. And for some reason, depending on the video game, but for me, like open world, I'm going to go explore a cave today. I would do that in the real world if I could just instantly snap myself into a cave, but I can't. So I use a video game to do it.
So you think people then thrive on a certain amount of chaos?
Yeah. Well, that's a whole thing that's kind of happening now. They're saying like people like Elon Musk, how it's like rockets, cars, AI brains. It's just this whole thing. Whereas we kind of are leaving the age of engineering, consistent building patterns, like mathematics, they all exist, but there's so many tools now that kind of enable everything to work, that having this kind of like nonlinear mind allows for you to see how, like even in music, I can take something from folk music, plug it into rock music, and then stick it over in hip hop, and now we have something cool, So I don't know. I just see it as society keeps changing how it does things. Certain brains rise to the top for being efficient for a few years, and then they go down, and then like the 40s were all engineers and mathematicians. They were the kings. So I think that's just kind of like a cyclical thing.
So do you think that the future bodes well for people who are of a different kind of a mindset?
I think so, yeah. Because a lot of, fortunately, depending on who you talk to, majority of the linear tasks are now automated with AI. And so now it's a matter of AI doesn't necessarily ping pong and think that way. But if you can get an AI to do the mathematics part of a physics situation and connect it into a movie, now you have like a process for the first time. So how long will this window last? I have no idea. It won't last forever, but might roll over again into completely different style of thinkers. So
let's talk about AI for a second. There are a lot of people who can't escape it, and it seems to be leading the headlines all the time. This is what the world is now focusing on, instead of the human thing that we all had prior to AI and maybe prior to internet stuff, where people would actually communicate face to face. And I'd call you up and say, hey, Chad, can you come out and play? Or, whatever it might be. So what do you think is going to be happening if you were to predict for the future? Are we just getting so far away from human connection that it's all going to be about the AI, and that this kind of a thing is just going to dissipate?
I think it's going to do that for a while. Same thing happened when television came out. Television came out and every kid was glued to this magical box. By the time their kids grew up, it was just something you could do if you wanted to. Internet, everybody's glued to the internet. And now kids are kind of like, I guess I can get on and get some stuff done. I think right now we're in this hype phase of AI, because again, I'm building in AI and it's just kind of like this new shiny thing. My prediction is it's so marginalized. Everything that AI predicts or produces is marginalized. And for a while, people will be like, yeah, that's great. But again, humans were pattern-based creatures. And eventually every song is going to sound the same. Every book is going to read the same. Every show is going to read the same. And I think when people get really bored, like with video games or whatever, the one thing that humans have never gotten tired of is just being together. That's the one thing humans have not cycled out of. I think it's actually, especially like in entertainment and music, I think people are going to have this hype phase, and I think they're going to kind of go back to, let's just go down to that coffee shop and listen to this singer-songwriter tonight. I don't want to do all this other stuff. My brain is fried. Because if anything, the byproduct is kind of like just a fried brain, and you get re-energized if it's just you and a couple friends. I think we're not going to see that for another 5 years. That's my, who knows? I could be wrong. It could be tomorrow for all I know. But I feel like we're going to have about 5 years of this just like AI insanity. And then people will kind of get bored with it and then just be like, who wants to go to the park? You know?
Oh, you think that that's going to come back? Because I think that COVID also had quite a contribution to the fact that we've split apart and we kind of fractured in our connection.
That's actually one of the main reasons I built Melocene, is because not only is the collaborative part really cool, I saw that music is a communal activity that's lost that, which is weird for me because I've grown up playing since I was a little kid, and band, anything I could get my hands on, I'm playing in that group. And then all of a sudden I was going into studios and working with people. And then I wasn't even going to studios. I was just MP3ing back and forth. And all these creators are by the vast majority are by themselves. Mm-hmm. And music doesn't work by yourself. Like you can make it, sure, but it is a communal experience. So that's actually why I built Melocene, is to get people together. And I think AI, especially AI music, because obviously I know more about that world. If anything, I think people are going to get tired of just everything sounds perfect now. Let's go make some garbage in the garage. Like, let's just go sound bad, because that's kind of how you used to have fun. Yeah. So we'll kind of see. We'll probably just need to see like when the dust settles, which again, my guess is going to be probably 5 years of just this incessant AI fixes everything kind of stuff. But the biggest thing is that the output is so predictable. Like, that movie was perfect. That song was perfect. The humans are not. Every human's a different individual fingerprint. So I think it'll be like shiny for a while, and then people will be like, I want to go hear somebody suck on a banjo.
Right.
just to be human. You know what I mean? Like,
that's a good point. And I'm curious and also kind of excited to hear that you think that people will get back to where we once were as far as human connection. Now, a few minutes ago, you were talking about the fact that you might play Minecraft in your lap when you're sitting across from 4-star generals at a military installation. Can you do the same with an instrument? Can you sit here and have a conversation, whip out your guitar and just play while you're talking and stuff?
Yeah, that's majority.
Do you have one nearby?
I don't have one nearby. Okay. Otherwise I would totally do it. But that's basically my whole life. Yeah. Parents trying to talk to me about I didn't do the dishes, and I'm sitting there playing a full song. It's completely different activity than this. And any musician will tell you that, like, you know, it's second nature kind of thing. So, and that actually is probably why when I'm talking to these 4-star, I'm bored out of my mind, and my brain is just like, we have to do something. And in a perfect world, and when I'm doing this bizarre stuff I'm doing, in a perfect world, I would just have a guitar and just sit there playing the guitar while we're talking about whatever, warfare, field logistics, topographical maps. Like, it's just,
dear.
Yeah, it's so awful. It's so awful. Like, so I wish I had a guitar on me, but they
at all times.
At all times, yeah. Well, the other thing too is even on stage over the years, it's like a security blanket for all aspects of my life. So even on stage, if I have ever done anything without a guitar, I feel like I don't have any pants on. Like, it's so weird.
You try that one day.
Yeah, right. I'm gonna see if I can get in the Red Hot Chili Peppers and get myself a sock.
Right, exactly. That's what it takes. You know, you not only have to be a good musician, but you have to look good. You gotta
wow them. You gotta flash them with something.
So, Chad, what's a sound that you love that most people would hate?
I think there's a lot of those. I find the sound of chalk, my fingers on a chalkboard, I found that fascinating. There's so many textures and layers to it.
You like that sound when you create it. What about when someone else is creating that?
Well, the problem is that every sound to me, I want to analyze it. So it's like, why does that one sound screechier than when the other person did it? That one has a lower tone in the middle. Are they dragging the middle finger harder? Or is it the thumb that's catching a little bit? Like, it just turns into this mess. But like, I love the sound of, honestly, I love the sound of everything. Like, that's really hard to, That's probably the hardest question anyone's ever asked me, to be honest, because I love the sound of everything because I hear everything. So I like every single sound has a billion data points to it to analyze.
So when you're listening to music, for instance, of other artists,
Yeah.
are you really focusing and concentrating on what you're hearing at that time or how they did that?
I try not to, but it's impossible. It's not even a matter of deconstructing it. It's just if I'm listening to what's crazy, if I listen to a song, one person might hate the song and I'll be like, why do you hate the song? And they're like, that person's voice is really annoying. I haven't even gotten to the voice yet. I'm still listening to the bass line and the synth pad. So it's like, that's why people hate it, but I'll listen to the same song, 150 times on repeat because I just want to get it all out. But the one thing I will say this, the one thing I do remember, the one thing sound that I love the most and obsessed with is specific people's voices, the tonal quality of their voice. And that's a major reason why I wanted to speak with you, is because your voice hits a weird marker that I am obsessed with. You have a tone about your voice that's phenomenal. And when I heard you on one of the podcasts, I was like, that is a really good voice. Like, love it. Voices, like talking voices. That's probably my favorite.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, thank you for that compliment.
Yeah.
I don't know what I can do with that now. Do you?
I don't. Well, the thing is like 99% of the voices are awful. Anytime I hear people talking, I'm like, I hate my own voice. I find it obnoxious, but certain voices have this it's like music. And again, and it sounds weird, but your voice has this like just very smooth tone to it. Voiceover work, be a voiceover artist.
Some people have a nice speaking voice, and then there are other people who don't, but they're phenomenal singers.
Yeah. Yeah.
How does that work? How come there's no direct connection to the two?
No. I that's stuff that I've thought a lot about, where I'm like, I don't understand how this guy has the most obnoxious talking voice, but when he sings, it's amazing. My guess is that they've never paid attention to the talking part because they never got rewarded for it, maybe. You know what I mean? Like some people have a good talking voice and then the world opens up to them for voiceovers and podcasts. But if they sing, the world closes because it's terrible. So right. I don't know.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to sing to you. I wouldn't want to explode your whole day.
Like I would imagine, and I'm sure there's clips out there, I don't ever want to hear James Earl Jones sing because it would ruin it for me. Like,
right.
But I mean,
he already sits at the top.
That's what I'm saying.
Voices.
Like he's the king of voice. But who knows? I'm assuming if you listen to him sing, I would bet most people would be like,
Considering yourself, do you have a certain sound? Did you develop a sound for yourself that someone who's familiar with your realm of work would say, that's Gerber?
Yeah, honestly. So I do all the big, whatever you're going to call it, pop, EDM, rock stuff, major label stuff, that I'm supplemental. I get involved and I am a part of. But if I do my own stuff, originally I wanted to be a composer. I wanted to compose symphonies. And I kind of figured out real quick that whole world is just rehashing dead people's music. That's kind of where it is. So I found if I make electronic music, so instead of a cello, I have like a deep saw synth. So I make a lot of these electronic albums and stuff kind of just for myself. It's all underground Woodrow Gerber stuff. And it does sound very much like me, for better or worse, because it's what triggers my brain to feel like I'm listening to some kind of a symphony that I would write. So I would say that my Woodrow Gerber stuff, it's very cinematic electronic music is kind of what people put it at.
Is there ever a time where you're just thinking, maybe go back to acoustic a little bit? It's pure and it's like what it used to be. Is that just an outdated
It's
thought?
actually backwards. I grew up all acoustic. I didn't get started doing electronic music till 2011, I believe. I started to incorporate it into some of the stuff I was doing on like Vans Warp Tour with I was in rock band stuff. I started putting synthesizers in. I've done folk albums. I actually grew up around a lot of folk music. The only reason that I don't do a lot of it is because I'm obsessed with layering a billion sounds that, again, most people are going to be like, it's just a wall of sound. But for me, it kind of hits that like every single thing is doing its own thing. But yeah, I never land on one thing and I'm like, and this is what I'm going to do now from here on out. If somebody tomorrow was like, listen, let's do a folk project, let's do an a cappella project or just a piano bass, I'd be all over it because it's all the same thing to me. I don't even necessarily see it as different types of stuff. It's just tonal changes or approaches. You know what I mean? It sounds like a super snobby music answer.
Well, that's good. You're fitting right in. So then how would you work on an a cappella project? What would you do as far as the design for a cappella?
I've always, and again, there's no way this will ever happen because it would require astronomical resources, but I've always wanted to do a choir project using a stadium full of people to where you have basically, 10,000 choir members and would layer the same way I do my own music, but I would layer all the different sections to do counter melodies with each other, etc. And it all just voices. That would be heaven to me to be able to do that. It would be astronomical. The cost would be absurd, but that's sort of what, if I could do it, I'd want to do that. But even choir stuff, I do like choir. I'd love to take some music that I've written and change it to just be choir instead of electronic. But yeah, if I did like an a cappella thing, I'd probably want to do just a big, almost like a big giant church choir, but in surround sound.
Where did the Woodrow come from? Is that your real name or is that a pet name or what?
No. So the first tour I ever got brought out on as a hired gun was a hip hop group out of Dallas. I didn't know anything about hip hop, but they were like, you could play guitar and we need you, and you cheap. I was like 20 years old. And they were just the funniest dudes I've ever met. And all they did was pick people apart, not necessarily in a mean way, just in a funny way, but they just said, your teeth are absurdly straight. That was their big joke. And I was like, okay. And then they said, like that one president, who was that one president? Woodrow Wilson, right? Woodrow Wilson. And I was like, it's George Washington who you're thinking of. It's not Woodrow Wilson. And they were like, well, we don't care. So they're like, Woodrow. And I was like, fine. And then when I got my first real credit release type thing, in the credits, they put Woodrow. And so I was like, all right, and just kind of stuck. And nobody wants to listen to an electronic project by a guy named Chad. Like, it just sounds like, what is this, party music? Are we like doing beer pong? So Woodrow.
So Woodrow stuck. And if someone would ask you your favorite president, you would absolutely say Woodrow Wilson. I'd say Woodrow.
I'd be like, yes, I'm a big fan of Woodrow Wilson. And one of them, I think there's a Tatty. Is there a Tatty in there somewhere? Do we have a president?
That's not ringing a bell to me, but I wasn't so good in that, in school.
All I know is that I was always fascinated by just who these people that have been dead for so long. So I know like 4 of them now, one of them being Woodrow Wilson.
What part of you is a musician and what part of you is an engineer? And which one showed up first? I
don't know. I feel like mentally, I feel like it's a constant chaotic storm. And once in a while I can see through it and see things. And if I can't, then I try to seek those out. So, I mean, when I was a kid, before I started music, I started ripping everything apart, remotes, TVs, calculators. And for whatever reason, my parents let me do this. And then I got into CB radios, ham radios, police scanners. I think I hacked my first CB radio when I was like 10, I think. But it wasn't like, number one, I thought it was magic. I was like, how is this possible? And then 2, whenever I changed something, it opened up something else new. And I have engineers in my family and I love them to death, but they're so like engineer.
Right. That's off-putting to you?
No. It's just, I would love to be that. I think my life would be so much more comfortable and simple. The problem is, that's why when people are like engineer, music, I'm like chaos. I'm just trying to make sense of the chaos. That's what I feel like. And every time I finally make sense of it, now that's a music project, or I just accidentally built some deep tech. And all I'm trying to do is just make sense of the chaos in front of me and then move on to the next piece. And the goal is to plug them all in together at some point when I'm like 100 years old and step back and go, okay, I can die now.
I love to talk about chaos and contradiction. So tell me what would alleviate you of the chaos you feel. Is it money? Is it a personal connection? Is it career rewarding stuff? Or what gets rid of that chaos?
I don't know. I think that's my life problem right there. It doesn't matter the money, the solutions. Every single time I get to one section, I go, what else do I need to crack here? What else we got? And so what I did do a few years ago is I did go, okay, if I'm going to be doing this, I'm going to make a huge trajectory of how all the stuff I'm working on plugs in together one day. And then we'll see if that shuts off the noise.
Okay. So you're looking for a modular solution.
That's the current trajectory, yes.
Okay. I was just thinking, since you're an engineer and a sound guy and like a gadget person and a musician and professor, I have an idea for you. And it will make you $1 billion, and we can get rid of that part of whatever might be contributing to the chaos.
Okay.
And that would be creating something like a remote that automatically mutes commercials when you're watching television, sporting events, etc.
I already have that answer for you. I was literally talking to somebody about it today.
Let's do it.
Okay, so if you want to do it, and this is where the AI thing is absurd, right? Everybody's like, AI, it can generate voices and pictures, and narrow AI is the future. Narrow AI is exactly that. So it's a little tiny chip that has something called narrow AI. It doesn't talk to you. It doesn't produce books. It just knows what's the annoying problem, commercials. And it just waits for a commercial and it learns to mute them. It's called narrow AI. And I promise you, it will show up. Give it a few years. It'll start to be in your coffee machine. It'll be in your TV remote. And what'll happen, and it might not, because Apple and Google might be like, no, we want to control everything. But the way it works is that you have this little narrow AI in your coffee machine that just happens to get access to your iPhone, and your iPhone will tell it he has snoozed twice today, but he's about to get up because according to his patterns, he snoozes 2 times and gets up. So start the coffee in 30 seconds. And then the narrow AI says, starting the coffee.
You're a napper. You like to take naps. Snooze.
No. That example was for you. Okay. I would give anything if I could nap. I am envious of people who can nap. I try to nap and I feel ridiculous because I just lay there staring at the ceiling. And I tell myself, I'm like, we can do this. And we rarely ever do it.
So you're like always kind of wired and energetic.
Yes. I can't nap. I can barely sleep, to be honest. And it's been that way forever. Yeah, it's been that way forever. Yeah.
I can relate to that, and I can also provide a solution worth trying.
I'm listening.
Edibles.
Oh, I've tried. Yeah, no, I'm on all of it. Yeah. Sleep at night, and that shuts me down. The problem is I hate the way I feel the next day. It takes me about like an hour. I have a whole routine. I spend about an hour getting my brain unclogged. Yeah. And my dream is to just be tired like a normal person, fall asleep and wake up and just be like, oh yeah, that's great. That's my,
that's a wonderful goal, but forget about it.
It's not going to happen. Okay. Good to know. Here's what's funny is that a friend of mine, his name is Justin Peck. He is a professional race car driver, and him and I, most of our conversations are things we're trying to sleep. And he has a million tips. One of the best ones he gave me is you put a box fan against your bed and it gently vibrates a resonant frequency that helps your brain lock in. So every time you try to wake up in the middle of the night, your brain goes, hold on, we haven't solved that weird vibration yet. That's about the closest thing. It doesn't work every time, but that's one of the closest ones. But yes, we should just start a WhatsApp group and just pass around sleeping tips. We've talked about building technology around it. That's how bad it is. So,
oh my gosh. Yeah, no, I want to be a part of that group. And another thing I've noticed besides the edibles is listening to podcasts at night when I go to sleep. I just pop in the earbuds and I'll fall asleep. And usually it's spoken word podcasts, not music.
I need to try that. Here's the problem, because I used to try a lot of I listen to the radio and all that. I need to know what they're saying. My brain, every time my brain starts to slip into that, it goes, hold on though, we're going to miss what they're saying. Bob Ross. I know that there's a solution to Bob Ross. I know if I can crack that one, because sometimes I will just watch Bob Ross videos on my phone in bed, and that will help a little. It doesn't necessarily knock me out, but at least it kind of pulls it down.
Okay. That's another one. And another one that's coming to mind for me. And this, there's a bit of shame here, but if I pick up a book and start reading it, I'll fall asleep. I can't get through like 10 pages.
Oh yeah. You pick up any physics book, you just be like, oh, you'll force yourself to sleep.
So there you go. We just provided like 4 or 5 solutions.
See, we just solved it. That's what this podcast should be called, Solving Things.
I like that. We'll take that under advisement.
Just start a second podcast. Solution.
Right. What's the version of you that only exists when you're holding onto your guitar?
The calm one. The peaceful, calm, everything is perfect in the universe. That version. That's the only time that I get to be that. You'll find the happiest, most balanced version of me. I'll still be nuts, but it's just It feels like when you're a kid and you have a birthday party and all your friends are there. That's what it feels like whenever I'm holding a guitar. Or if things in life are hard or miserable, the guitar just wipes it away. For that period of time that I'm on that guitar, the world could be on fire, but in my mind, everything is perfect. And then somebody comes and knocks on the door and says, hey, we got to go do a thing. And then all of a sudden, just, all the noise comes back.
When's the last time someone asked you if you wanted to play a lightning round?
I don't know.
That's what I figured.
I'm a big fan of lightning rounds. Let me tell you, I'm in.
Here we go then, man.
Okay. Here we go. Let's do it.
Analog or digital?
Maybe I made the wrong choice. Maybe lightning rounds are not good for me.
On the first one.
I can't. Okay, but time out. Just time out real quick. So I get stuck.
It's totally against the rules.
Time out. I get stuck on a menu at a restaurant for like 15 minutes because I can't stop analyzing all the possibilities.
Well, don't go to Cheesecake Factory. They have a menu that's like a Bible.
It's like, well, I like going to these Mexican restaurants and their menus are shorter than Cheesecake Factory and they're 175 different things. Okay, hold on. Hold on. First, tell me the point of lightning rounds. What is the point? Just throw it out there. No, there's no connotation.
Putting people on the spot.
Okay, let's do it again. From the top.
Okay. Analog or digital?
Analog.
Why?
Because I like the struggle to create with analog to see what comes out of the necessity of creating something. Digital removes that weird human struggle, and then you just get something. I like that analog makes you kind of fight with it a bit. Go ahead. Tour
bus or garage?
Tour bus.
You like that. Chaos or control?
I would love control. I don't know what that is.
But we already know that you're like knee deep in the chaos.
Yes, I would love control. So I choose control. Please give me control.
Right. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
What's a hill you're going to die on?
Just give me a second. Man, I'm really bad at this. I never thought I'd be so bad at something like this. No.
Well, this is like random access stuff.
The problem is I'm overthinking it. What's a hill that I'm going to die on?
Yeah.
Crocs are not cool.
Crocs are definitely not cool. I've never even owned one or worn one.
All the new crews coming up, they're all about Crocs.
Why do you think that is?
Because we think they're not cool. Thus, they are cool.
To get back at us.
I don't know, honestly. I have no idea. But no, everyone will look back and say, you're right. Those are not cool.
We'll look back at this lightning round someday.
Yes, this will be in the archives at the Smithsonian.
Is there a sound you overuse?
My voice.
Oh, is that right?
Well, I mean, every day I use it and I wish I didn't have to. I'd love to just be a quiet person that's like, but I'm not. Or do you mean like in music recording? You probably meant like...
Yeah, no, let's explore, let's drill down on that a little bit. Wait, for someone who doesn't like speaking, you're doing a damn good job here.
Yeah, that's the problem. Once you open it up, I can't shut it down. That's
right. Okay.
Yeah. I can tell you in music, I overuse arpeggiated synthesizers. I love them.
Tell us what that is.
Any kind of synth that's like, like a or like Stranger Things, that intro, that's arpeggiated synthesizers. I overuse them to death. They make me so happy.
Okay. I'll give you a music-related lightning round question.
Okay.
Latency, is it acceptable or unforgivable?
If you're a good musician, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. So you can sway between the two and be all right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You learn to adjust your timing. It's not fun, but those people that are just like, I can't do this. I'm like, well, then you probably aren't a professional musician.
Is there a piece of tech that has really changed your life?
A laptop. I started on the days of recording ADAT tape, and a studio was like $3,000 a day. And then the laptop, the processors got so good that now it's like I can record, in the bathroom.
And when was the last time you recorded in the bathroom?
I do a lot of AI video editing of dumb videos in the bathroom, but no recording in the bathroom because it grosses me out.
Right, exactly. Okay, we're going to turn the tables now, Chad. This is your opportunity to ask me any questions you think I might have the answer to.
Okay, first question, probably not what I'm supposed to ask. Have you seen that movie about the people that go to a restaurant for an exclusive dining experience and then the chef systematically starts killing them?
Ooh, that sounds like a great plot. It sounds somewhat familiar, but no, I haven't seen it.
It's Ralph Fiennes, the guy that plays Voldemort in Harry Potter. And then it's got Anna Joy Taylor. All that. Anyways, it's like, so you haven't seen it?
I have not.
Okay. I forgot the name of it, but I thought it was spectacular. I think everyone else hated it. But there's basically a chef who is so full of himself that he got like self-righteous and murderous.
Wow.
But it's fascinating. It's not a horror movie. It's like a psychological, it's so bizarre. But I wanted to talk to a chef about it to get your take on it.
I would love to see that. I'll check that out after we're done here.
Okay.
I want to see that.
The other one, I've only seen a few episodes, but The Bear?
I watched it completely. It was very difficult to get into and to stay current with, just because so much of that reminds me of my background.
So is it kind of spot on? Like, it's just insanity, right? People yelling at each other. And
it is crazy. It's a young person's game. Wow. It is insanity, and it's also rewarding, and all the things that you can possibly put into that because it's so focused and concentrated.
Wow. Okay, cool. Third question. I don't want to count anymore.
I cried like a baby when I watched that show at some points. Yeah.
I was watching it with someone who was just worked in the food industry as a server, and they were like, I can't watch that. It freaks me out. And I'm like, I've never worked in that world. So I'm like, well, looks fun to me, but I would die. There's no question about that. Why are you doing a podcast? What on earth got you from food to this?
Well, I've been in talk radio forever, since the earth was cooling. I was doing talk radio back in the 80s.
What?
And so this long before the internet ever existed. And I had a very successful business called Hawaii Food Tours from 04 to 2020, when the COVID shit show took me down. And so I just had to kind of reinvent myself, sort of like what you've done, except I have no desire to monetize my world and my life. I just do it because I love meeting people and learning from them and just being a part of this kind of connection.
Are you from Hawaii, or did you move there?
I was born in New York, lived in New York to the age of 10.
Okay.
And my family moved to the West Coast, to LA. Okay. They didn't tell me right away, but I caught up with them. and then moved to Honolulu in 93.
Wow. And do you have any desire to move ever? I would assume not.
Plenty of desire. So much desire.
Where would you want to go? If you could just go anywhere and live, even for 1 year, where would you pick?
So money notwithstanding, as far as costs, I do love London. That's where I went to school and was there for a few years. So I could see myself there, or Amsterdam, Barcelona, the big European destinations.
Barcelona.
Right. So probably any of those places in Europe, I'd be fine to go to. But yar we yar. And
right. What about food though? Are you ever going to go back into making food for other people professionally, or are you just like, I did my time?
Like I said, a lot of the calls, a big percentage of the connection I have with people are people asking, how do I make this? How do I make that? Can you send me a recipe for this? Where do I eat? And my world has plenty of food in it.
Yeah.
But as far as creating professionally, nah. But if you came over here, I'd cook for you.
Oh, that'd be so amazing.
You know what I'm saying? So now I just really enjoy the people-pleasing aspect of my art and not the craziness and the crazy making aspects of it.
Yeah. Well, that's why I like to do the underground electronic stuff, because it's just what I want to do. What would you make me? Like, what's your dish? Like,
Well, I wouldn't just make you something unless you just said, I'll eat anything, which you did say actually
I did say
earlier.
But I want to know what your specialty is, the one that you make that you're like, I am really good at making this.
Almost everything I make is delicious and awesome. So it's the truth. It's my truth. And I think
like that. Yeah.
People say Matthew makes food fun, and I do. And it's just going to be an extravaganza for your tongue.
What's the most fun food for you to make? Like, that when you flip things or something pops that you're like, I love this part.
Fun things are just like showing off and setting people's kitchens on fire, like I did with Robin.
Okay, hold on. I need to unpack that one. So was that in LA that happened, or was that? So were you a celebrity chef that would get the call to go do that kind of thing?
I was when I was done going to school in London, moved back to LA, and I hired an agent, a domestic agent, not a Hollywood agent. And I said, find me some work with names and big people.
Nice.
They traveled with the Eagles on their Hotel California tour and cooked for Fleetwood Mac and Pink Floyd, a lot of people in your world.
Yep.
But when I got back to LA, I started kind of rubbing elbows with the Hollywood crowd and started cooking for a lot of them. So
they're so weird. I actively try. I love hanging out with musicians. I love comedians, chefs, pretty much everyone. I hate to say it. I don't like hanging out with actors. It's so hit or miss. Either they're the coolest people I've ever met or I want to jump out a window.
And is that because of the ego thing or I'm better than you are thing? Or?
No, they're just weird. Like they don't seem to have that social ping pong thing of like, we're talking now. It's like they're just waiting for their opportunity to start their performance. And then there's just the rest of the night. You're just like, this guy's still going and doing his bits and let me tell you about the time I was with Brad Pitt on Troy. You're like, can we just like
a lack of authenticity completely.
Yeah. Like it's not, there's a difference between, like when we're sharing cool stories and it's like, oh, that's interesting. But they're more like, everyone sit down, listen to this. And they're obviously they're not always like this, but I feel like there's very, very rarely down the middle. It's either that or they're super chill and you just enjoy hanging out with them. So I got to the point where I just actively, it's just awful, but I avoided them. People be like, hey, do you want to meet so-and-so? I'm like, nope.
I'm good.
I really like their movies and I want to keep it that way. So nope.
Yeah, that's part of the issue and the problem that people have with athletes and actors and people like that. Like when they stick to their specialty, they're fine and dandy and digestible. Yep. But when they go off and they try to be role models or political creatures, it's like that's where you lose me.
I hate it. That's from like, I make music and people are like, what is it? What are you trying to say here? And I'm like, I mean, I have what I'm trying to say, but what do you hear? This is yours now. It's not mine. And people like political stuff. I'm like, I'm a musician. If I would talk politics, I would be a politician, but I am a musician. I don't want my comedians can we just be happy and artists again? Like, when did it turn into this, pick your lane? Speaking of hills, I'm going to die on. You're like, why are you dying on this hill? You have 50 amazing movies and now you're just like running into the ground. I just like, it's exhausting. And it's not even what side of the aisles you're on. I'm like, dude, you used to be so cool.
What happened?
Yeah.
Right.
Like, oh God, I can't do it, man. Like, yeah. So I'm like, I actively avoid it unless a friend is like, no, I'm friends with him. Then I will be like, okay.
Do you have a best friend?
Yeah. Well, yeah, absolutely. I have, I feel like I have best friends for all the different personalities that I feel like I have. But I'd say like my best friend, well, first off, I have the guy that got me into music back in the day. His name is JP Kavanaugh. And I kid you not, he is a savant Mozart guy, but doesn't know how to play the industry game and nobody knows about it. So I've never worked with anyone that comes remotely close to this person in musical talent at all. And then my best friend is a guy named Preston Pollard. He was a professional skateboarder who then transitioned into like youth speaking and independent filmmaking, documentary making. And he's just the greatest person you'll ever meet. Just positive and encouraging. Like at some point, I think with everybody in life, you kind of have a million friends and then you just are like, I need people that we like help each other versus just a million friends. So then I think my brother-in-law is the coolest dude I've ever met in my life. He's from the South. He is the nicest person you'll ever meet. So yeah, I'm at this point now where I'm like, I have my closest best friend, but then if it's like, I need to just vent on something, then I'll talk to this friend, but they're just good people that are positive and encouraging. Where in the past, I'd be around people that would be like, you just need to, forget people, like that guy. So yes. Right. So, and then obviously I'm married and she's my best friend. Like that's kind of the cop out answer, honestly. It's like, well, my wife's my best friend, but yeah, but I don't like,
how does,
that's a cop out, but yeah.
How does Wipey handle the fact that you're gone quite a lot?
Well, now, I mean, honestly, COVID was the last big being gone. I was supposed to play Lollapalooza, Brazil and Tomorrowland, these huge things. And then when that all hit the fan, I told her, I was actually like, cause she's my music manager. And I was like, listen, Gibson said they're interested or want me to look into this spatial studio thing. And I told her, I was like, I'm not doing this unless you want to do it, because I'm not doing the business side. It'll die. And so she was like, let's do it. So now, actually, we travel together all over. So it's not like that anymore. And it was for a while. But even then with her stuff, she's involved in like, she has background in health. She was going to be a doctor. So she was in other countries. She'd be in other countries in like a village, no joke, in a village in the Philippines, trying to FaceTime to me at a 5-star resort in Amsterdam. And I'd be on the call wearing a bathrobe, you know, eating sushi in bed. And she'd be just sweating in a jungle. So that was the last section of traveling all over in different places, but now we actually go to the same places, which is kind of a nice change, you know.
Oh, that's fun. So no kids and no pets, I guess.
Kids and pets, just chaos. We're the Addams family. Honestly, we're like the non-dusty version of the Addams family.
There are kids and pets?
Correct. Kids and pets. I normally don't talk about it now that I have government officials and literally spies in my inbox. But yeah, so it was really, I was stressed about it musically because I was like, I'm never going to see anybody. And then our life turned into this weird traveling Addams family circus thing where we kind of all just travel around together, sometimes not. Family watches people, like did a lot of family the last few years, which has actually been really cool. So so it works out. Again, we kind of just we don't fight the wind, you know, we kind of just like put a sail up.
Mellow truckers, so to speak.
Nomadic circus performers.
Oh, yeah, right. That's more like it. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to ask you to go ahead and craft and create and design an impromptu promo.
Ah, yes.
So this is something that was forged because I wanted you to be able to answer the questions of your wife, the manager, and the crazy, delicious lady she is.
Yes.
When she asks you later, what was it like being on 50 Tastes of Grey? You can sell her by telling her what we talked about. So pretend this promo, it's not a sales bit. Yeah. It's to communicate to her why she should watch
Well,
this.
I wouldn't do it how I talk to her because nobody wants to see that. It'd have to be more... Right, just intense, intimate discussions about...
go ahead and do both versions.
Like, please don't do that. Please don't do that, Chad. What do we talk about? Hold on, let me think. Am I supposed to say, hi, I am Chad Gerber, and on today's episode of 50 Shades of Grey.
Oh, wait, 50 Tastes of Grey.
Tastes of Grey, yeah.
Where's your mind at,
when I
Chad?
I know, right? Did you know that I tried watching that movie and I shut it off after 15 minutes because I was so bored? I couldn't even, again, I struggle. I was like, what is the point? Never, that's a whole other conversation.
This stuff is so easy to get elsewhere.
Right. I know. Why would people go to the movie theater and why would you go sit with a bunch of strangers and watch, like, just, I don't know. I don't, it didn't work for me. What am I doing? Oh yeah. I am Chad Gerber. And this episode of 50 Tastes of Grey, we discuss circuses, traveling, food, hospitality, New York City, music, and technology.
So this is what you would say to your wife when she asks?
If I said to she go, okay, hold on. What did you talk about?
Take two.
I'm Chad Gerber. We talked a lot about how art weaves into the realities that we live, whether it be technology, food, travel. And we just kind of dissect what it's like to be a person navigating the unknowns and the chaos of everything that's going on and kind of try to make sense of it. We didn't, but we got to know each other in the process, and that was nice. And we're going to go to Hawaii and eat really good food soon.
Nice.
Thank you. That's how I do it. And she would know what it means, by the way, because she interprets the vagueness. She'll know exactly what it means.
She'll know. She'll be able to suss that out.
Yeah. Yeah, she will.
Okay. Now, Chad, you're a goofball just like me. Yes. And so people who enjoy me, obviously they'll love you. How would they check you out and see what you're doing and follow you?
I just, Instagram is the only one that I don't mind. So just Chad Gerber. I kind of, anything going on goes up there. So if it's the underground music stuff, I'll put it on there. If it's big label stuff, it'll go on there. If it's technology, it goes on there. So otherwise, chadgerber.com if they just want to kind of get plugged into whatever. I'm going to be in New York in a couple of weeks. If anybody wants to meet up. Actually, that's a horrible idea because I don't want to meet strangers. Reach out to me. Send me an email if you.
Hey, what the heck? Where did Chad go?